recorded before I forget. Hopefully everyone's doing okay and enjoying the nice new weather. I know that we've talked about Canvas Studio before, but we thought we'd touch on it once again because it's showing up in our data that we're not using it as much as we possibly could. And we've got a couple of fun activities to go through with you to show you some different ways that you can use it. And Sneaky Pete, we're also kind of getting you to take a look at some UDL resources because this is a terminology that's coming up again and again. We've been seeing it over the last couple of years, and it's short for Universal Design of Learning. So we're going to have you take a look at that a little bit today. We also... Sorry, I'm trying to admit people at the same time. Chris, I need to go ahead and make you a co-host too. There we go. And I think Chris is also going to ask that we get a few feedback pieces on the elementary Canvas for elementary. Is that right, Chris?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right.
I'm on mute because Leave is behind me and she's so loud.
Okay. Are you going to go ahead and lead us through this? I think one thing I'll say is if you aren't already in this Canvas course, let me grab the link and throw it in the chat real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
We are using the exemplar course that we had you guys get into at the very, very beginning. So if you aren't in that already, go ahead and click that link and open up Canvas so that you can participate in the activities today with Canvas Studio.
Emily says hi.
And then Chris, do you want to go ahead and lead us through the two different activities? Okay.
Yes, I'm happy to. Do you want to
stop sharing?
Yes, that's okay. All right. Well, first of all, we're super glad that all of you are here today and it's sunny out. So who can be upset about that? Not me. So, okay. Just really quickly, you can give thumbs up or you can give any emoji that you feel comfortable with, that you've been either use Canvas Studio or you're kind of comfortable with using it, or so just thumbs up if you like, yeah, I've used it a few times, I feel comfortable, or at least know enough to feel dangerous. If you don't want to give a thumbs up and you want to be like, I've never used it, you can just throw that in the chat. That's okay. Because we are going to talk about Canvas Studio, which to me is a very, very powerful tool. So I haven't used it. That's okay. Okay. All right. Okay. No thumbs up, and a few people have said no. Okay. Well, you can see my screen. The beauty of Canvas Studio is it's as simple as finding resources that already exist. And so when I say that, I say, for example, I'm going to grab this video. I'm a teacher who wants to use a YouTube video. And you're like, hey, I'd rather have my students just watch the video and they're not really engaging in the video. They're really not doing anything with the video. How can I take that YouTube video and make it actually part of the learning process? And so what's great about Canvas Studio is on the left-hand side in Canvas, you have your dashboard and your courses and your inbox. Well, down below, you have what's called Studio. And when you click on Studio, it might open up and yours might be blank. Mine's not. I have a bunch of videos. Nicole has twice as many as I do. But what's awesome about this Canvas Studio is that I can go to YouTube and grab a video, the website URL, come back to Studio and click the add symbol at the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to add a YouTube video. And when I do that, it automatically brings that YouTube video into Canvas Studio. Now, I'm not finished. I can actually do a few things with it. And so today, our experience is going to be for you all to basically experience how to use Canvas Studio as a student, so you can kind of see, instead of just watching a video and consuming it, how can I either answer questions, or how can I respond to questions that are taking place through the video. And before we get started, does everybody have access to this course? It should look like this. You should see a course. Oh, sorry, apologize. Wrong one. It should be this course here. It's called 2022-23. So just that's the one that Nicole had put in the chat. When you click on that link, you should be invited in as a student. And if you want to go to the dashboard, you can click on that. But what I'm going to have you do is actually participate in this course by doing an assignment that uses a YouTube video and uses Canvas Studio. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this link. I'm going to put it in the chat. And here's the instructions. As you can see on this page, I've created an assignment. Actually, I apologize. I've created a Canvas assignment. This is called a studio quiz. I've added into a Canvas assignment, and I gave my students some information and instructions on what UDL is. But what you're going to do at the bottom when you scroll down is you're actually going to watch the video for a few minutes quietly on your own. And then I've asked you some questions that I want you to respond to. Nicole, that's all right. It's good. Good. Okay. So inside the chat is the direct link to this assignment. And when you get to the assignment, if you scroll down, just hit start quiz, and you can hit mute. You can put yourself, turn off your screen if you want to, and just watch the video for the first minute or two. We have some questions about universal design for learning, and we're using this video to kind of host those questions. And I will stop talking, and we'll give everybody about 2 minutes. Is that okay? Okay, most of you are probably finishing up. If you didn't finish the video, that's okay. And I think I probably forgot to preface this piece because thank you, Nicole, for like hitting it. Our goal is twofold. We want to speak to what UDL, Universal Design for Learning, is. And so we try to do a very meta process, which was finding a video on Universal Design for Learning. But then we also wanted to kind of couch that in showing and talking about Canvas Studio. So that's kind of the glue that we're hoping to show that I didn't actually start out with very well. But we want to kind of speak to UDL and what the principles are, and then have that video be kind of like a showcase to not only can I watch a video on UDL, but I can also use Canvas Studio as a way to kind of actually engage my students in actually any video, which actually does follow the principles of Universal Design for Learning. So, okay. So real quickly, I apologize for those who don't know. So Universal Design for Learning, if you're not familiar, is basically a framework that allows learning to take place and accessibility to take place for all. So in other words, if you think about walking outside downtown or anywhere, and you notice the curb, what's that yellow thing that you see in front of most of the curbs? Does anybody know what those things are? You know, like when you're walking down the street and you notice this big yellow block that's sitting in front of the curb where somebody might actually try to walk up. Any idea what those are?
Is it to alert people that they're about to walk into a street?
Yes, or or potentially walking, they're seeing impaired and they're using some type of device to help them, but there's a physical thing that tells them, hey, you're about to either walk onto the street or here's the curb that you can use to wheel up or do things. So basically, that's a perfect example of universal design for learning, meaning everybody benefits from that yellow Lego-like looking block in front of a curb. Not just for the benefit of individuals who have specific needs, but everybody benefits. So the framework of universal design for learning is making learning accessible and reducing barriers for all. You do have a specific group in mind, but when you do that, you're making it accessible for everybody. So, oops, sorry, I have to commit one in. So that's kind of the framework for universal design for learning. And we have some links, but then we wanted you to watch this video on it. It's one, learn a little bit more about what it is if you've never heard this framework. And two, we actually wanted you to engage in an opportunity to see what a Canvas Studio quiz looks like so that we can have our kids and our students not just consume a video, but actually engage in learning in a video and actually participate in that learning space. Was there anybody who actually had an opportunity to actually watch the video and respond to any questions? What did that feel like?
I did it. It seemed fine. I mean, I definitely was like, oh, I have to pay attention better.
Yeah, and definitely as a teacher, telling my students, hey, we're watching a video today. I am going to have a few questions in the video quiz you'll see pop up. But the beauty part is, like, if you made a mistake, what did it ask you that you could do? Did it ask you to do anything?
I didn't make a mistake.
Oh, you
Chris.
didn't make any mistakes. Okay.
You could rewatch the video.
Okay, to rewatch the video. It had give you the opportunity to go back and click rewatch the video, right? So did anybody get 100%? I think I only had 3 questions on the studio quiz. So but you can see my screen. And so my students can get to engage in this video. I can hit resume. And for those who just showed up, when we use these videos, YouTube videos specifically with Canvas Studio, we can basically embed questions. Now, in Canvas Studio, I can hide the questions. I can tell my students, you're going to be prompted to respond to questions and hide them. So that really makes them have to watch. I did not do that in this case. I wanted you to know that there was a couple questions for you to watch. Did anybody try to submit without watching the whole thing? Yeah, because if you were to try to submit without going to the very end of the screen, it actually wouldn't let you submit. So I do like that. If students were like, fine, I'll answer questions 1, 2, and 3, you can't actually do anything until you actually go to the very end of the video. So real quickly, I have my video, I have my responses for my students, and I can come down here to where it says quiz results. And we can do student results. And I can see all of the students in this class who participated in that Canvas Studio. So I have a real quick process. It does say in progress, and I think maybe potentially it's still thinking. So I'm gonna hit refresh. Actually, insights. Actually, I want to do insights. Is what I do. So with insights, I can see how many of my students watched the videos. I can see that there was 9 unique viewers. They spend an average of how much time viewing. And I could even go and say, I just want to look at, or even if there was teachers here. It gives me a lot of feedback. And then I can scroll down and see even more independent results or statistics from my students. I can see that good old Sandra, 27% completion rate. So I can see some information in here. I can also go to the top to where it says quiz results. And I'm going to go to where it says, Nicole, my computer has been lagging all day. I'll flip and it just is sitting there. I'm sorry, friends. My computer is literally just sitting and staring at me. And I swear I only have like 17 tabs open. So I don't know. Anyways, I should be able to see the analysis of the students' results. I apologize, for some reason that's whacked. Let me do one more thing and then we'll go to the next activity real fast. I do want to tell you that I can actually see UDL. What was the video that I gave? Oh my gosh, I totally forget now. Canvas Studio quiz.
What
Okay, thank you.
is, yeah, okay.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I'm coming into grades because I wanted to actually look for that quiz that I gave to all of you. And so I can see the Canvas Studio quiz. I can see that Emily completed the assignment. She submitted. And I can see if I scroll down, she was actually the only one, it looks like, who actually submitted and got 100%, which is interesting. So the whole point is that when you create a Canvas Studio and you kind of marry it together with a Canvas assignment, you can actually have those results show up for you in Canvas, in the Canvas Workbook. That one, only one person has information, and that's Emily. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. But
Well, the video was 6 minutes long and we only had 2 minutes to watch
oh,
it.
thank you
So
for telling me. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
so
I
that would
appreciate
be
you
why.
telling me that. Yes. Thank you for telling me
Emily's
that.
tag.
Tag. Way to go, Emily. Okay. So if all of our students were to watch the video and gone to the end and hit submit, then it would be able to submit that assignment. And I made this quiz just worth 1 point. 1 point you did it. You didn't complete it, then it wouldn't have shown. So thank you, Jennifer, for telling me. I totally forgot how long the video was. So I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. That's something I would do.
Yeah. So in this example, we're doing a Canvas Studio, and I intentionally loaded the questions for my students to watch the video. I don't want them just to be passively listening and watching the video. I actually want them to be listening. And like I think Jennifer or somebody mentioned, oh, I had to go back and actually pay attention because there were some questions. So now we're going to switch gears. And so instead of me as the teacher spending the time coming up with some of these questions for my students, which there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I actually am going to put into the chat a second link. So instead, I created a page. I wanted my students to do some reading on what Universal Design for Learning was. I put in some visuals for them, but down below, I actually put in a video on Universal Design for Learning that I want them to watch. But my instructions are this time, watch the video on your own. And as you watch, make a comment in the video. I would like for you to comment on something that you're wondering and even potentially asking a question. And what I mean by that is when you hit play and you go ahead and you hit comment, it will actually tag your comment to that moment in the video where you asked your question or you put in your wondering. So in the chat, I'm putting the link to this assignment. You can scroll down on the page to the video and you can hit play. And again, you can turn off your screen. You can hit mute. We'll let it go for just 2 minutes. Don't worry about finishing the whole thing. We'll just let 2 minutes happen. And as you're watching the video, go ahead and click comment and add a comment to that moment in the video. So I'll put myself on mute, but if you have any questions, you're like, Chris, I don't understand what you just said, please ask me. But in the chat should be the link to this assignment and to the video. Okay, this is a video that it's about 9 minutes long. We're not asking you to watch the whole video, and that's okay. Matter of fact, if some of you are like, ooh, I'll put it on 1.25 the speed. That sounds awesome, because that's something I would do as well. But we'll have everybody come back. If you could hit refresh on your own page, I'll hit refresh on my page. And what you're gonna notice, well, actually, I'll hit refresh on my page and I'll ask this question instead. What do you notice on your page once you hit refresh? I'd love to hear somebody's thoughts. What do you notice? 2 times the speed.
That you see everybody else's comments.
Yeah, you do, right? You definitely see everybody's comments. What else do you notice?
It looked like that. I noticed that like mine was flagged. So, and it says turn reply notifications off. I don't know,
Mm,
but like mine has a flag and nobody else's does, but I also can edit or delete my comment.
where was yours at?
Mine
Yeah.
has a flag too, though. So I think it's like our personal.
Like it's
Maybe it's because
R1.
it's your
Okay,
own
that's what I was
personal
thinking.
run,
So that
right?
might be nice, like if a kid was needing to find their comment again to see what somebody responded. If ours are flagged, then like that
Mm.
would be an easy visual to be like, oh, just look for my flags.
Here, I'm gonna look this out. Wow. I'll just say wow. Let's take a look and see. Mine's probably near the bottom. Oh yeah, look at that. So turn reply notifications off. That's a very interesting. I never noticed that. That's a great thing that you noticed. And I definitely can go ahead and click edit to my comment, which is great. Anything else you noticed or one or thought was like, huh, that was really interesting.
Up in the video, it showed like if you go up to the video part, it will
Mhm.
show all those little bubbles.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome? So you could just fast forward and be like, oh, I'll just go to this person's comment and see it. And I love, for me personally, I love the fact that you can actually respond to each other. It's like we did this Canvas Studio example inside of a page. So the point with the V is Canvas Studio doesn't always have to be in a quiz. It doesn't always have to be in an assignment. It could be in a discussion, which is my favorite place to be, but it also could just be a page. And so here, this page contains some content that I wanted my students to read. They could use Immersive Reader to read the page and go through the page or have the page read to them. And then when they're finished, I could have my students engage in a video and actually go ahead and comment. So I don't have to use it in a discussion. I use Canvas Studio to actually create the discussion space here. And so I love this. So when you think of like, okay, Chris, where are we going with this? Well, when we're going with like universal design for learning, one of the principles is how do we have students be able to participate in more than one way, multiple means of action, multiple means of expression. So my students can not only engage in the learning by having the page read to them using the immersive reader, my students can watch the video. They could even go ahead and watch the video and turn up the speed. My students can also comment. So I'm giving my students lots of opportunities to engage in this content without having to be restricted to only one type of access point, which universal design for learning is how do we remove barriers and make learning accessible? So
I
Okay.
also think too, it just
yeah, go ahead.
it takes the passivity out of
Yeah.
watching videos. And I know we can really nerd out. I can nerd out sometimes when we talk about like metadata, but this particular way of watching videos has a super high retention rate for students, either the commenting feature or the question feature. Usually the question feature is the one that teachers use the most, but this is a really good way for students to engage and interact with a video.
So I'm sure I'm doing the current social studies unit wrong, but I'm in the Explorers and I feel like they put a lot of videos in the Explorers slide. So this is like speaking to me at the moment because I feel like I'm in kind of video hell. Are you gonna refresh our memories on how to like
Yes.
upload this to make
Yes.
this a thing so that
Yes.
I can
Do
try
the
it?
thing.
I'm on board now. You got me.
Yes, we definitely can. And like Nicole said, and Nicole had like used this just before, and I certainly don't remember what it was, but she did allude to it, which is there's a percentage of engagement that happens with when students are actually engaged in a video versus just passively watching. And so she alluded to that, but I definitely know you had a slide, Nicole, at one point in time that actually gave like a percentage, and I forget what it was, but you know. Oh, I think you're
I'm
on mute.
muted. It's on the Hattie visual learner scale. And I want to
That's
say
right.
it's a weird scale. So it's like a 0.75. And I think anything above like a 0.4 or something like that is really good for you to do in the classroom.
Yeah.
But it's one of the higher things. And especially using Canvas Studio, it's so easy to do that it can have a very big impact in the classroom.
Yeah, so we'll definitely refresh, and then we have some instructions on top of how to do it. So we're definitely going to do that. So for me to do
Chris.
this, I need two things. And the first thing I need to do is I need a YouTube video. Now, in your case, Jennifer, I'm thinking potentially not all the videos you're referring to are on YouTube. I think they're maybe potentially somewhere else.
I think, well, I think they're on YouTube because it's
Okay.
through like TEDx, most of them.
Okay.
There's a couple through PBS maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason why I was going to say I'll show you both, but we'll just do it briefly. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and find a video on YouTube. That's really the first step. And then I'm going to come back to Canvas, and I'm going to click on the left-hand side where it says Studio. And the reason why is because when you add your video here, let me go to this course real fast. If I'm in the course, you'll notice that Canvas Studio is, let me just take a second here and go back to navigation. Canvas Studio is actually one of the links on the left-hand side that I've hidden, but you can make it exposed. But the benefit to why I would do it here by clicking on the global navigation is because when I add a video here, I can easily assign this video to multiple courses versus if I create it in the course level first, it takes a little bit more finessing to get it to, oh, math needs it as well, or reading needs it. So I build things here at this level. And Nicole probably has already been doing this, but you can create collections. Like you can organize all of these files, these video files into different collections. It could be content or course, however you want. But once I'm ready to go, and so I'm going to go ahead and go click on Studio. I already created a collection. Oh, why did I click on Commons? Sorry about that. Not Commons, Studio. Awesome. This live demo, this is more my collection is, so I'm going to click on that. It will bring me to that collection of those two videos. And this is where I can choose to click add. And the reason why I asked that question, Jennifer, is because if some of those videos were videos that you actually had physically on your laptop or on your computer, or you had to download it, you could go ahead and upload a video as well. So you're not just stuck to YouTube. If you wanted to upload a video, I probably would keep uploaded videos shorter because they're actually going to eat up more storage space versus just as a YouTube video that's not going to take the space on your drive.
So it's some of them are like OPB, it looks like. I was just trying that one and it's telling me no. So I'd have to download that and then hope that the Google police don't think I use too much storage.
Or a lot of the OPB stuff you can find on YouTube.
Okay.
I would
give it a try to find it first before trying to like download it.
But once I go ahead and find my YouTube video, for example, then I can click, like I'm just using YouTube because it's the simplest route, but you can obviously upload. And once I've done that, this is the video right here. It's this one right here. Then I have two options. I can just go right to the course and go to a module, and I can go ahead and add this Canvas Studio either to an assignment, or I can add it to a page or discussion. And when let's say I'm going to add it to a discussion. So I'll go ahead and do discussion.
A discussion is what allows us to comment at the video link and continue to comment on each other's.
No, see, this is why, I mean, I love discussions for all things, but for me, I mean,
I'll go to a page instead.
You can put it in a discussion, but to me, it's almost redundant because if what your plan is to have the kids comment on the video, I'd rather have them comment on the video in Canvas Studio with that feature we just saw where you can reply to people and get notifications and whatever versus a threaded comment in a
Yeah.
discussion.
So
If
in
you
this
post
case,
it as an
but
assignment, does it
Yes.
allow you to do the same, like
yes.
reply on other people's?
Yes.
And I'll show you the difference real fast, but let's just say, for example, I'm going to add it to a page. I'm just going to add it to a page just to keep the discussion out of the way. Any feature you want. I'll click add item. When you do that, I'm going to go ahead and edit the item. This is where that power comes in. So when I click edit, I just want my kids to comment on the video. So I already know that's the process. So right here in this rich content editor, it says right here, there's a little studio button. If you don't see it, you can click the plug and you could see it. And when you open this up, it's going to say, okay, what video do you want to add? Well, I want to add this universal design for learning video. And here's where you do that. If I say display media tab and I leave it, this allows the comments. If I turn it off, it's just watching the video and that's it. So for example, if you're like, no, I want my kids to actually use a Canvas discussion, but I want them to watch the video, then I would say, I'm going to embed this video, turn off this feature, and they can just do the discussions. Or I want this video in a Canvas page, and I want them to physically respond to each other. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and click embed.
Can I ask if
Go ahead,
you
dude.
if you
Yeah.
do it that way, the purpose would be so that you still can look as a teacher at like your analytics to see if a kid watched the whole video or something?
If you turned off, I'll go ahead and do it this way. If you turn it off, so I'll go back and add this selected video and I'll turn it off and I'll hit embed and I'll go ahead and hit save and publish. It's just a video. And so I'm not going to be able to see the analytics of who has watched that video or anything. So it's just a video, like a YouTube video. That's literally all it is. So I haven't done anything special to it. But by allowing that tool to be on instead, select allow the display media tabs and hit embed. By allowing that, that's where you can say, okay, kids, students, I want you to watch the video. And just like we did a few minutes ago, I actually want you to comment and then you can see the insights. So.
Is there a feature that allows them to comment, but not see other people's responses? Like if I just wanted to show, I don't know, I guess if I was capturing their own thinking, but it wasn't as far as a discussion, but I was like, I want you to watch a video and I want to see what you're thinking as the video's playing. Is there that feature?
I have not found that there's a feature that allows students to physically comment on a video other than having those questions that you responded to in the first video we did that gives me their direct answer. So in other words,
So your
I want
question
to
could
see,
maybe be just comment here.
Yeah.
And then they comment there, but it, add your
are-
thinking or something. like
You
that.
are kind of limited when you go in to create the quiz questions. There's not a ton of options in terms of,
no. So let's go
like,
back.
yeah, when you're
So if I
making,
wanted to create a Canvas studio quiz, now again, doesn't always have to be for graded. I can just say, I'm going to go ahead and create, I'll just create it as a Canvas assignment, just as what we did earlier. And a studio quiz, hit add item. I'm going to go ahead and edit the assignment. So this time my intention is I actually want to preload questions for my students. That's the intention of this type of space. So in this case, this is where my directions are going to be. Oh my gosh, my writing is terrible today. My directions are going to be here, but down below is where if I want to have a way to alert me that they completed it, I can add it as an external tool, which is what I did earlier. Or I just come up here and add the studio. Now, this time, do you see where there's this little rocket? I have to actually make the studio quiz first. I think I skipped that part by mistake, but I can add an actual studio quiz. So I'm going to go back. I apologize. I was like, I made a mistake and skipped a spot. Do you see how this video here in the middle has a rocket on it? I made questions for this one. So if I come over to this video, there is no little rocket. I click the 3 little dots and it says create a quiz. And this is where I would actually create those questions that I would preload. And when you do that, you can put in a title and you can choose to hide the questions or not hide the questions. You can have a description. And if I hit get started, wherever I move the playhead, the little plus symbol comes up, and that's where you have those 3 option choices. You only have 3 question types. So I can
And
have my students.
none of those,
Yeah, go ahead.
none of those options include like,
Writing.
tell me your thought. It's all
No,
like a
no.
click a box thing.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
if I really like to Kristen's point, like if I wanted my students to watch a video and I wanted their reflection, I personally would create a Canvas assignment, and I would just make the assignment a online text response, and I would have the video. So directions is read and then answer, or reflect, right? And then down below is where I would put the video with no comments allowed. I would just have the video. So that's the tricky part, is I have to think about what is the end game. And so if I wanted their answers written in reflective, it might just be a text response only kind of thing. So
To me, honestly, if you're
Yeah.
not going to add the comment section and you're not going to add the multiple choice and you really just want them to reflect and
Watch
see
the
what they
video.
know, then I wouldn't even put it in the studio.
I just do
would
a Canvas, YouTube.
Yeah, I would just embed it from YouTube straight away.
Yeah.
But Canvas Studio is good if you do have to like upload something.
And to be honest, if you want to give your students like, let's say an assessment, a formula, like I really want you to tell me what you thought of this video, or you really want to use it as, let's say, a grade, the Canvas Studio brings in the extra part where the student completely bombed it, let's just say, and they come back to you and they say, I did my best. And you go to the analytics and you're like, you didn't even watch the video. That's where the power of the studio comes in versus just putting in the YouTube videos. You could watch the analytics on that. So to Nicole's point, I could just use YouTube, but then I have to think, how important is the questions they're responding to? And do I want evidence that they actually didn't do it or did it, kind of thing?
So I have a question. I use Canvas Studio a lot because I have YouTube blocked on their light speed. But if you put it in Canvas Studio, they can still watch it and it won't be blocked. So if you embed a YouTube video in an assignment, would they be able to do that if you didn't do it in Studio?
I'm going to say the answer should be yes. So if I wanted to go to the little plug here and say view all and scroll down to where it says YouTube.
Okay.
Then I could just, remember a few minutes ago, I grabbed that URL of that video. Wait for this to load, but I could just paste the URL in here. It'll find it, or I could just type in a generic term, gravity. There we go. So I can actually paste in that YouTube video. Oh, it didn't show up. But I could go ahead and do gravity. And so I can go ahead and say, ooh, this is a great video. It's a song. And I can embed it, and I can even choose what size I want. So this, to your question, can I just put in a YouTube video and physically make it show up in Canvas? The answer is yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, does it work? So like kind of with like what Jennifer was asking too with the social studies, and I could see doing this with some of the Twig videos. So I know that you were at one point, you said you were trying to get Twig to collaborate and connect with Canvas.
I got
but-
4th grade done. I'm
Okay.
not quite finished with 5th grade. But
Are
yes.
the videos able to be, are we able to do the videos? And since if there is that connection to Canvas Studio, or I know this is probably not allowed, but like, could we take a screen capture of the video playing and then load it to Canvas Studio if we wanted to do like those social studies ones if they weren't on YouTube?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not going to be the police, but I wouldn't feel comfortable telling teachers that they could screen record a video and then paste it. But I also don't want to rain on anybody else's parade. And I know this is just a quick detour, but gee whiz, Twig.
Is there a way, since Twig wants to collaborate with us, that we can get them to make their videos Canvas happy?
This is what it looks like. So I have 4th grade done. It was not very lovely, I'm going to tell you right now. But if I go into the gee whiz, dude. I broke them into modules. So when we release this, I'm happy for folks to like, I'll create a master course and we'll have folks jump in and look at it, and we'll just make sure that it looks good and all that for teachers. I'm okay with that. But when I go into Twig Science, lesson 3 for teachers, this is what it's going to look like. I say that because it should load. There we go. So it should look like this. Now I'm not a Twig genius, so I haven't spent a lot of time in Twig, so I really don't know what to expect other than the fact that I can click on the lesson and, you know, there's that video. So I think all of that is going to be physically embedded inside of that Twig environment. So your students will have to progress through that environment. This is why when we release to people, I would love for you guys to look at it and see, because I don't know how much this is going to make you
Wait.
feel better or worse for using. I don't know, but this
I
is
have
what
a
they gave to
que-
us, and so we're reorganizing it in a way that hopefully will make sense. So
Okay, so I have a question, and I mean, it might seem like maybe I haven't used Twig that much this year, but whatever. So when I was in trying to use Twig in the first module, or
Yeah.
they had disabled the coaches from online learning. Like they took that resource away. Did they bring them back?
when they gave it to me, and this is a 4th grade here we go. So I again took it into some sections. So whatever they gave to me, I just rearranged it. So it looks to me like where it says coach, I
Because they
think,
took that away from at least my access. I
Okay.
can't look at the online learning.
and I just have a
videos.
generic clever login that they pass me through. So I'm hoping to get this done after spring break. And for folks who want to jump in and look at it, I will definitely we'll just bring people in and have people look at the 4th and 5th grade and just see what it looks like. So anyways, I'm sorry, this is like kind of off topic, but it's also kind of on topic in that you wanted to know the videos. And so I just wanted to at least show you that. So, and then, like you said, Twig wants to be your partner. You're the ones who know this really well. And if you've got things that we could actually tag Twig with more questions or more specific things, we welcome that for sure. So, okay. So Canvas Studio, adding comments, adding preloaded questions. You could just have the video itself, or I think, I forget who it asked, but can we just embed a YouTube video? The answer is yes, you can do that even in an assignment or even in a discussion. So I feel like the point of Universal Design for Learning is how can I make my students access learning in multiple ways? And this, I feel like, gives us teachers a really great, robust way of making learning more accessible. All right. That's a lot. I wasn't sure, like, Nicole, where we are on our time frame on that, but we literally just had 2 question types that we're going to go through. So,
Yeah,
we
I
did-
mean, it's up to you guys if you wanted to continue down this path and kind of do some brainstorming with each other. We do have a Jamboard that we could open up and you guys could just pop down some ideas, or we can kind of keep cruising because we do only have about 15 minutes left.
right.
Up to you guys.
Yeah.
I think the other thing to think about too is if you are on one of those, teams that are super active together and one person creates content that then shares with everybody else. If you liked the version of this where Chris was showing you that the quiz results from a Canvas Studio quiz, the rocket thing, if you remember the rocket, when those show up in your grade book, we're realizing that it's difficult. Like if someone shares the quiz with you, it won't necessarily go straight to your grade book. You can still see the quiz results in the analytic part down below, like where you can see all the comments and stuff. So you can grab the kids' grades from down there. But when you share a quiz, it's not a cross platform, whatever, for whatever reason, it doesn't go into your grade book.
I was able to create the Canvas. I was able to create the Canvas Studio assignment. I was able to add it to one course, and then from that one course, I was able to go ahead and say in my modules, send to another course. So I was able to create my questions, add my questions to that Canvas Studio once it was in that course, and send it to another course, and it was able to replicate that. So it worked really well to do that. So
You definitely can share it. I guess I'm just trying to
Yeah.
make sure that you guys understand that the
Limitations.
sharing is easy. It's just it becomes a little bit cumbersome in expecting that it will make an automatic grade row or column in your grade book. It doesn't always do that when you share it. Unless
And-
you're the original creator.
And I will look, but I know this is the hub. I have instructions on how to use Canvas Studio. So I will put these links for us on the agenda real fast. I think I forgot to do that today, so. And after spring break, you're like, Chris, I'd love to do Canvas Studio. Can you help me out? Absolutely. I mean, happy to come and help and connect for you to do that. So.
Okay, so I think what I want to do
Yeah.
is the last piece that we also wanted was to give a little bit more time to get feedback from you guys on your Canvas for Elementary experience. It's on the same Jamboard. It's just a different slide. So if we give you guys a few minutes to just go in and see what people have already wrote down on slide 4, I think slide 4 and 5. We're wanting to know what your feedback is so far in your experience this year. Chris has gone ahead and put it in the chat for you too.
I did, yeah. So it should be this slide here, which is
Yeah.
honest feedback about Canvas. And so in the chat for Zoom, you should see the link where it says feedback for Canvas for Elementary.
So I think we'll just not talk. I can put on some yacht rock if you want me to, but give you like 2 minutes to just give us some feedback. If that's okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull us back. That was 2 minutes. I do want to make sure that we have enough time to go through and make sure everybody turns in their pay forms for today, but Kristen did message me and ask if she could share a resource. Kristen, I want to make sure, Chris, go ahead and unshare, stop sharing. So if Kristen wants to share her screen, she can. And if you can't, let me know. I can change the settings.
And Emily, were you able to get on the Jamboard? You just mentioned that your Jamboard wasn't working.
Okay, give me just this. Oh, there it is. Okay.
No? Oh,
Screen share. Where's screen share?
you're getting rusty.
Right? Okay, I think it's like probably my whole screen, but
That's good.
okay, so I found this let's see if it lets me sign in. On the OSAS portal, and my testing coordinator and I were like, we had never seen it before, this Tools for Teachers button. We feel like we've seen it, but it's like it's not as cool as it's cooler than it maybe used to be. So for state testing, I should say that. Oh, really? You sent me some stupid code right now? Because that's helpful. Like y'all saw my code, like it was supposed to be secret. Okay, so when you sign into the Tools for Teachers, what I found was most helpful was this interim items portal. And if you click there and then go to view interim items, it takes you to this thing where you can click your grade level. You can click whether you want ELA or math, and then you can pick like all of these kinds of questions that would come up. So I'll just use this one. And then there are questions that match similar to the OSAS test, and it tells you like what's the target, what's the standard, how easy or moderate or difficult it is. And when you click on them, then there's the question, and it looks just like an OSAS one. It's, easy for the kids to practice, more practice choices. There's at least like one performance task for ELA as well to practice on. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't tried having the kids, like if I can send the kids here, there is like a share button at some point that allows you to do that. You can select to print them. However, we found that when we printed like the question, if we wanted to do it as like a morning warm up, it prints very clunky. And so I'll just send, and you can either delete or keep if you want. We are ridiculous, and we basically downloaded and redid every single question for ELA already for 5th grade. We haven't done math yet. We're still working through that. But basically we categorize them. So all of these are the grammar convention type questions. And again, we were like exit slicks, put them on Canvas, whatever it might be. We have like informational writing, and again, like here's their prompt, and then choose the best thing. So all of these are related to informational writing. We have the passages downloaded for fiction, nonfiction, and I'm currently I've taken all the voice recordings of the listening and added questions for those. I'm like handful of questions away from being done with that set. And so like I said, I'll share those with you guys through Google Drive. And you guys can do what you want with them. Whether you want to, like I said, recycle them, but we found like we were like, oh wow, like what we've kind of been asking for a long time was just like sometimes more practice questions than what the practice test gives. So this would be like the listening one where they can click here, play the video recording, and then here's the question that goes with that. And then we also, because again, I'm OCD, I pulled like the test number, which is the little number like up here. With just the question number, I guess it was. The standard it is, whether it was reading, research and inquiry, writing, or listening. The story, or like whether it was informational opinion, and then the answers. So I kind of pulled it all off of that Tools for Teachers site, and made them into Google whatever's, because I feel like that would be easier for us than trying to get our kids to sign on and find the question. Again, I wasn't even sure how to share it with them, but nobody in my school knew that this thing exists. And like, we thought it was like, I just, hit the jackpot. The other, and the other one is if you go to interim assessments up top, and I think it's assessment viewing application. It has what I've wanted forever, the science. And then there's all these science prompts and questions for 5th grade, so they can practice all the funky science questions instead of like the 3 that they give us on the practice test, and then the kids fail because they don't understand. But all of these, I mean, it takes you, of course, you're gonna have me do audio. Anyway, there's just tons. You saw how many that you scrolled through to find the science questions. So, I just was like, I literally was doing like a happy dance when I came across that and thought that was like the coolest thing, that just to give them more choices. We've been working it into like our morning math. It's like one of those is like a warm-up question. We just added a bunch of the interim ones